beautiful evening. Welcome to Atlantic Television Sports Extraordinary. My name is Ekpo Temple. On the show today, we'll talk about athletics, the Nigeria Premier Football League, as well as club football in the European scene. Not also forgetting that the Euros 2024 is ongoing. There are big games today to watch out for, and many more on the show. Let's go on a quick break and we'll come back. We'll get started here on Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their
so no agreement with the EU, but
back from that break. If you're just joining us, it's Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network. And I have Emmanuel Michael joins us to discuss those beautiful stories popping out from the sporting world this evening. Michael, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening and good evening to our viewers. It's always a delight to do this with you.
Always a delight to do this with you. Just breaking this evening is the news of that FIFA to the media that the NFF are in their quest to get a new coach, and the name on the lips of many is Renard Haber, the man who won the African Cup of Nations twice with two different countries in Africa. And of course, it looks like that's going to be the talk, in the next couple of days. And I'm not going to be surprised. We're going to talk about it here today too, as we have a guest joining us live on air. Femi Adetula will be joining us any moment from now. But then, let's talk about the Euros first off, because when we start, there may not be time truly to really go back to some of these happenings. Mike, the order of the day, let me just tweak it a little, and let's talk about the Euros. As it stands now, there are games ongoing. The dynamics of what has happened in the Euros, I'm sure at this point now, you look back and say, okay, has the group stage lived up to its expectation?
Yeah, definitely it has. It has actually lived up to the expectation. We've seen some surprises as well, where some of the big teams, some of the big countries with their race of stars, you thought maybe they are going to have it more like a roller coaster ride, have actually find it very, very difficult to also skate through to the round of 16. We saw England struggling, not a convincing result. We saw France as well not getting very convincing result. Netherlands as well as also in the mix. These are teams that come with a lot of squad, with a race of stars that you may think, they have what it takes to get all 3 points in every of their single game. But we've actually seen that these three teams have actually struggled so far, and some of them will be just praying and hoping this evening that their opponent do them the favor, because the likes of Netherlands, the likes of France, England as well, not also left in the Serbia. These are some of the things that might likely drop tonight after tonight's game, because we'll be having 4 games. So one is currently ongoing right now.
The both are ongoing. Okay, yes, one is ongoing.
Yeah. I think the rest is coming by 8 o'clock, 3 of the games. So for me, I think he has actually lived up to the billing. Only team that have actually distinguished themselves among their peers is the likes of Germany and Spain, who have gotten maximum points in their game as well. Germany, the host country, being one of the countries to at least qualify first from their group after picking up 6 points from their 2 successive games. Then again, Spain, though nobody gave them a chance to come this far, looking at the young squad that they have in their mix, but they have actually proven bookmakers stronger. They've actually topped their group out there with ease, 9 points to shoot for it after 3 games. So for me, in all, this year's Euro have actually lived up to the expectations so far.
The Euros have truly lived up to its expectation, I can tell you for sure, and this is authentic, that France is currently playing at the goalless draw with Poland. Netherlands currently are playing the 1-0 draw with Austria, and that's it. But when we're on radio, we'll talk about the dynamics of this group, and France, if the result remains this way, it means Netherlands tops the group, same point with France, but then it's still draw from the both sides. Poland, France, and Netherlands, Austria, 1-1. So very tight schedule there for the both teams.
Very, very tight. I think Poland as well, they want to also live very high. They wouldn't want to embarrass themselves by not getting very vital points, despite the fact that they are already out of the equation of making it through to the next round. I think as it stands right now, they will also want to pray for pride. They want to play for pride, and that is the reason why I think they might just upset France today. If France don't give in their all, I think they will be shocked, because this football is all about shock. So for me, I think France need to come up with their 8 games. They need to be at their best if they truly want to stay, very, very relevant in this competition. They need to get all 3 points. You don't need to wait on other teams to depend on them before you skate through. Just do your job and forget the rest. So I think France need a win more than even Poland, who is already out.
Truly, France do need a win. As it stands now, it looks like a lot of anticipation for how the game will end, but I can tell you that it is not done and dusted yet. We'll get to see how the dynamics will go on. But generally, if you look at the build-up to the fans experience, what will you have to say in regards to that?
I think initially when the competition kicked off, about 2 days or 3 days when the competition officially kicked off, we had some complaints from the English fans about the transportation system. They couldn't find their way. They couldn't locate a train at the right time, at the right point in time. So, it was initial hitches here and there in terms of transportation. But I believe after that complaint that they actually lodged, the authority, talking about the LOC, they've been able to take that into cognizance. And ever since then, we haven't had any issue of transportation or crowd violence as well. So for me, I think relatively we want to say yes, Germany, they have actually maintained peace.
Of course, and a lot is happening, and I can tell you for sure that the breaking news now, Cameroon just zitted the Eastbourne championship, and of course you also know that the qualifiers have started in for Wimbledon. A lot of qualification ongoing right now. From now till Sunday, we have the main draws will be established, and of course we'll get to start fully on Monday, 1st of July. Mike?
Yeah, I think for the Wimbledon, that will be starting very soon. 1st of July, most of these players as well want to also pick 1 or 2 tickets to at least see them through. But then you take a look at some names who is already out. May want to say yes, they did not do enough to get talking about the likes of Cameron Norrie. We also hear Novak Djokovic still contemplating whether or not he's going to be fit for that very one. So some of these big names, some of the notable names might not possibly take part in this very one. But one thing remains for sure, that some of the big names as well will definitely grace the occasion.
One of the big names will grace the occasion, and of course we have one more group this evening so we can talk about the Euros, and that of course will come. Somehow a lot of people think that it will be very difficult to get to see England qualify, and that will be played out tonight. The chances of England qualifying will be well established. Denmark will take on Serbia, 8 p.m., and England will take on Slovenia. And as it stands now, it's still very dicey as to how the group looks like. Although England are in pole position to qualify because they have 4 points. We have Denmark 2, apiece with Slovenia 2, and then Serbia 1. And so you think that England can put the chestnut out of fire tonight against Slovenia?
Looking at their last 2 games, I think I'm not that confident that England is going to do the needful, because this England team, this England side, the arrays of stars they've actually assembled, look as though it makes the coach very, very difficult to be able to have a standard first 11 that is going to prosecute the game and give him the needed result. At some point, criticism is beginning to fly from left, right, center against Gary Southgate, because he's making it 8 good years that he has been at the helm of affair for this English national team job. And then, nothing to show for it. You may want to say, yes, they have actually come close to winning the major, talking about the Euro and the World Cup, where they actually got to the semi-final last time at the Euro. They lost to Italy, who was the eventual winner last time out. So I think for Gary Southgate, he needs to improve a lot. There are some questions that have been asked from different quarters about the reason why he has decided to keep some of these youngsters that are still very much vibrant, the likes of Kobe Mino, the likes of Cole Palmer, Oli Watkins, Conor Gallagher. These are some of the key players, some of the young squad that you expect him to at least bring them on as early as possible, because their blood is still very hot. They want to make a mark for themselves. Somebody like Cole Palmer finished the season in an incredible fashion for a struggling Chelsea side, but then he was still able to prove a bookmaker's run. For Kobe Mino, very strong and very energetic, tactical on the ball. Bring him on. The likes of Phil Foden, in their last game, he was not just that Phil Foden at all. I had expected Southgate to sub him and bring on a player that can be able to operate from that far side of the wing. But it looks as though sometimes some coaches just a struggle for him to establish a first 11 that is very potent, that can do the job. has been the issue of England. And I tell you, as it stands tonight, they are not qualified yet. There's still possibility they might be knocked out. 4 points that they have already. If other teams, Serbia and other teams, get to win their games, automatically it means they are going to stay 5 points, and goals will come. It will come to a point where goal difference will definitely matter. And England, they are not scoring much goals. So these are the issues. So England need to just rise up to the occasion and prove so many doubters wrong, prove critics wrong. Because a few days ago, about 24 hours, Gareth Southgate came to say that he's paying deaf ear to some of the criticism. He's not bothered, he's not part of. But for me, I think he should be bothered. If majority of the pundits out there, even English national that have played the game at the highest level, is criticizing, then there is something that is not getting right, and there is need for him to get it right this evening. There's
need for him, Gareth Southgate, to get it right with the English team, but I can tell you that Kylian Mbappe has scored a penalty for France and is 1-0 now in favor of the French national team against Poland.
A relief for the French national team, but then it is too early call. There's still much to play because we've seen a shocker last night. We saw Italy, the Azzurri, doing the unthinkable against a certain Croatian team. At 19 minutes plus, the Croatian fans, they were already celebrating, but then their striker came up with a goal at very right point in time. That goal was like a dagger that was stabbed in the heart of the Croatian. That is how they existed. So it is not yet an Uhuru. There's still much to play.
Still much to play, and it's time now to head straight to bringing of course, on-air guests. But before then, I mean, the African senior athletics competition, we saw Nigeria doing so well. I mean, a lot of preparation for that one. We saw Toby Emotion getting the 100, leading the team that got the 4x100 meter, and a whole lot. We won few golds in this particular one. For me, I would have expected more gold medals, but I think Elekwachi was able to get a gold for us, but the number of gold was less as compared to what we saw at the Commonwealth Games, and then the All-African Games.
Yes, I think for me, the razzmatazz of the Nigerian athletes, from different quarters that people are talking about, about we being informed, most of our athletes being informed and all of that, I think it looks as though we are just expecting too much, from our athletes, which for me, it should be looking at the form that they are into. 40 contingent. These are our best hands taken so far for this very one. You expect us to be racking up, the gold medals. So for me, in the first day of the competition, we kick-started with gold medal. Had 2 gold medals in the first day of the competition. We thought maybe it was going to be a galore, a range of gold medal, but then the second, third day, we couldn't be able to, lay our hand or sustain that momentum. Just yesterday, before Toby Amosho was able to, led the Nigerian contingent for the 4x100 meter relay to get the gold medal, but the female counterpart fell short of that, expectation as they played the third fiddle against the likes of Ghana, which for me I think is quite disappointing. I think looking at the quality of athletes that we're seeing that as our contingent, for me we should be doing better than what we are doing right now.
All right, and it's time now to head straight to get a reaction from our on-air guest this evening live on Atlantic Television Network. Mr. Femi Adetula joins us live on the show. Mr. Femi is the former public relations officer of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, and he knows better when it comes to Olympic year like this. He knows more of the team. Mr. Femi, good evening and welcome to Atlantic Television Network.
Tempo, I greet you. Good evening. How are you today?
I'm very fine. I'm basking in the euphoria of Enugu Rangers lifting the trophy after 2016.
Yes, we are still in the mood, and you know what it means when you are in the mood. Interestingly, I was in Jos, Plateau State, to see when their cup is being lifted by Fidelis Nishuku and his boys. It's something really to behold, and I'm so happy for Rangers because as a Sunshine Stars fan, I was waiting for them, to have their day, which they really had.
We'll talk about that in a jiffy. Mr. Femi, let's talk about talk about athletics. Let's talk about the the effort of our team Nigeria. And this is an Olympic year, and so take us through. How far? Look at the crop of athletes we have now, and look at what we did the last time at the last Olympic, and what has changed from then to now. What would you say about the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, in connection with the NOC, that's the Nigeria Olympic Committee, in the last 2021 to this moment, the next Olympic? Has there been any positive transition?
I can tell you that there's been a very tremendous transition, because you look at the story from Accra, Ghana, when it all started. You saw what Nigeria athletes did in Ghana, and look at the momentum they built from then till now. Look at what happened in Benin. Look at what happened individually. Look at what happened currently happening in Douala, Cameroon. You understand? So these athletes are they are there. They are ready to go. They are rearing. They are rowing. They want to go. They want to do Nigeria good at the Olympics. Well, it is good to have a motion back here. Just yesterday, they won the 4x100 meters, having gone through some little illness. And look at other athletes. In feed events, we have a guy, I used to call him Eze. Eze was there, he did good. And look at other feed events where we have gold, silver, and bronze. So it means, and Eze Boomer, you understand? So these guys are ready, for the Olympics. Looking at the NOC, though I'm not of NOC now, but as a stakeholder, they are trying to see what they can do, so that they can, Nigeria can have a very beautiful outing in Paris. So this is just how it is.
When you look at the pattern of preparation, do you think that as a stakeholder in the NOC, do you think that we have enhanced our preparation better than it has ever been before?
We're looking at preparation. There are a lot of factors you need to look at, because in Nigeria presently, there's something with that. We're experiencing some difficulty in this country now, and this has really affected our preparation. But in all, we have to give it to the sports ministry and the NOC for what they can do, what they have been doing, to see that these athletes, some of them in camp now, and a lot of these, many of them will be traveling abroad, for overseas camping. So I think they've really tried in their own little way to see how these athletes, can be ready for the games.
And then let's talk about the leadership of the Nigeria Olympic Committee. And of course, that a lot of person thinks that when the election was conducted and he won, I'm talking about your former boss, we saw what played out, and a person think that we should have a new change. But because of the effort of Engineer Gume, who has changed the narrative, you still think that the leadership is bent on changing the narrative, ensuring that our athletes do very well, represent Nigeria at the highest level when it comes to the Olympics?
When it comes to the Olympics, there are two things I need to explain to you this evening, because we have the federations which are directly in charge of the athletes, and we have the Nigerian Olympic Committee who interface between the sports ministry and Nigeria when it comes to International Olympic Committee. You understand? So as it is now, I think the man on the side, the Engineer Abu Gume, coupled with the minister, they are trying to see what they can do. You understand? Because we have one major problem in Nigeria, which is fund. When there is no fund, there is nothing. What you can do is minimal. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So with the little fund they have, I think they have really tried, to see what they can put together for this athlete, so to go to Olympics and do well. Though if you want to compete at the Olympics, it's a 4-year cycle, because when you drop the betting at the last Olympics, you have to pick it up from there. You have to pick it from there. So as it is now, with the little they have done, we have to commend them. You understand? So we have to commend them.
I have to commend them. Of course, Nigeria participated in her first Olympic in 1952. Since then, we have participated in all other Olympics except for 1976, when we boycotted the Olympics. And for athletics, we have won 27 medals, a patriot 27 medals from 1952. So one would think that when it comes to athletics, with what Tinubu Kokowa has done in the last couple of years, we should see our athletes winning massive medal. The last time we saw just one athlete, got, or just one Nigeria, this thing got, one athlete, not because we saw a certain wrestler got to the got to the final and she lost that particular one, and then we saw the Sebrume who won bronze as the only athlete, you know, who did so well. So if you look at the dynamics, you think that maybe we expect more medals to add to the 27 total we have won since 1952, Femi?
As we speak now, you look at it. We have a world champion in Nigeria back to back in Oluwatobi Amuso, and you look at Izebrume. Izebrume is very hot now, and the other guys are there. You understand? Adekoye missed her chance in Japan. I was there that evening. I felt bad because it was just a little mistake. But all these things, I think that they have corrected, and other athletes here and there picking joy. They're coming up. Look at what happened at the African Games in Ghana. So it means 4x1, 4x4, and other field events. Remember, our Falcons didn't qualify in the last 16 years. Now they have qualified, the Super Falcons. So they're going to the Olympics. So it means going there is not going to be a jamboree, but it's going to be a show that everybody will remember for good. You understand? So I'm rest assured that Nigeria will experience a better outing this time around.
I have been speaking with Femi Adetula. He's a stakeholder in sports business, he's a sports pundit, and one man who understands the working of sports generally. Former public relations officer of the Nigeria Olympic Committee, giving us first-hand information when it comes to preparation, comparing the past and what we think we can achieve this year at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Away from that, now let's talk football matters, and I will start with the Nigerian Premier League. I know that you are a football stakeholder too. I know that you follow the Nigerian League. The Benga Elegbeleye board, do you have any justification as the season ended on Sunday?
Well, we have to commend them. I saw what they did in Jaws. Not only in Jaws, I saw what they did all through the season, because GTI was on board and Elegbeleye is board. They came on. I have to give it to them, because you can see that in this season there were a lot of away wins. You understand? It's not for one or two if not for one or two issues here and there, maybe the one in Enugu. If not for the issue in Enugu, look at the crowd there that evening in Enugu. Look at the one in Ibadan. Look at Kano. Look at Kaduna. Look at Katsina. It means the crowd, the populace are returning to the stadium. The awareness is there. Though they can do more, but with what they did this season, we have to give them kudos. For putting together a very nice outing for the league.
And then, as it stands now, what area do you think that we can work on? What are the things that we can work on when you look at the general league, where you compare and contrast what we see in other climes? What do you think we can work on come next season?
Well, I will simply tell you that Rome was not built in a day. We have to give credit to those guys, the lieutenants then that put that built the city of Rome. If they can do what they did this season, I'm sure by next season they will want to work on what they have on ground. I want to advise, you understand, that visibility on television has to be more than one or two games per week. We have to build on that to see how we can see several games on television, you understand, so that people can really see the game and talk about it the way it used to be. The league has really improved, and we have to commend these guys for doing a good job, because it's not easy to put football together in Nigeria. Sport generally in Nigeria is still recreation. It's recreational until it is business. When it's business, where people will now go into it and say, oh, these are the books, well, let's look into it, these are what you can bring on board, and this is what we can do to take it to the next level. So this is what I'm expecting them to do coming next season.
Let me, Femi, while you stick with us, let me come back to of course, my colleague here in the studio, Mike, and you heard from Femi, who talked about the fact that Rome was not built in a day. And of course, we have been singing this song since 1972, when the league was formally founded and established. One should think that the MPFL, should, and we should not be talking about Rome building in a day, because a child born in 1972 is an old man now. And I'm thinking that, yes, we cannot build, no doubt. This is the modern era. But like I said, are there things you feel that, from what we have seen, the Benga Elegbeleye should be focused on? I'm talking about specifics now, things that should be focused on next season.
Yeah, I think facility first. These are the major thing, because you take a look at our pitches and the facilities there. You may want to say it's not good enough, and that is why we discovered that CAF only approved the Gosulobod Akpabio International Stadium, for any continental game here. It simply means that our pitches are not good enough. Even Rivers United, when we have our continental games out there, the Adokie Amesi Emeka Stadium, it wasn't approved. So it's a clear testament and evidence that, in the areas of facilities, a lot need to be done. Few matches before the end of the season, you saw how rain halted some of the games that were ongoing because of the bad pitches, poor facilities. So I think that is the area we need to also consolidate.
Mr. Femi, back to you now. I love being the continent. We saw the likes of Gombe United, Heartland Football Club, Doma United, and Sporting Lagos. They lost out on the final day. I mean, they were all relegated. Now, clubs like Rivers United, Bender Insurance, Kano Pillars, these are clubs that should be competing highly, for the league. But unfortunately, this season, it looks like that was nowhere to be found. Even Lobby Stars, the Makurdi Soldiers, also lost out in that particular one. Bender Insurance are key with all they did last season. One would have expected. So, what do you think could be the challenge with Bender Insurance, specifically Rivers United, Kano Pillars? Why are these teams struggling, to compete with to compete for this highly coveted title, or maybe be at the continent?
It's not rocket science, because as it is, the other teams are growing up and they are catching up with all these big names, because name doesn't play football any longer. If not for the Ronaldos of this world and Messi of this world, these are the guys that can say, oh, okay, they can do the magic. But if you look around, let me go to England. Arsenal had how many points? They led for so many seasons, but that loss against Aston Villa, it cost them the league.
True.
You understand? Because Arsenal is going to play, and they are going to beat this team. They are going there to beat them. But if you look at Nigerian league, it has improved. Teams went to Kano to pick draw to win. Teams went to Gombe to defeat them. Teams went to Lodi to play draw. So it means the league is growing. Teams came to Lagos to pick points, against these teams. You dare not do it in the past. But as it is now, it means, all eyes are on the referee, the officials. All eyes are on the players. And the players themselves, they are living to the billing because they are professionals. They have to prove themselves that they can do it when it matters. So this is what is happening around the league, because everybody is proving what they are doing. Look at what Remo is doing. If not that Sporting Lagos was just not fortunate, they would have been in the league, because they came with the purpose, but the purpose was defeated because experience, they counted against them.
You think it's about experience or funding?
It's not funding. If for Sporting Lagos, it's not funding. It's experience, because yes, because they only thought about the first leg of the season. They were not thinking about the second stanza. If they were thinking about the second stanza, they would have fortified their team. You understand? Because to play 38 matches is not something very easy. So it means you have to. It's a race. You have to run it from beginning to the end. It's marathon. You understand? So they missed at the point. Even Doma was at the first stanza. Doma was first three on the league, but they lost the team in the second stanza. So they really need to work. These things really need to work, on their structures, so that we can have a better league. I want to chip this one in, because it's not very easy for the players as well. You play Meduguri last night, and you are playing in Rivers on Wednesday. It means you are leaving the stadium into one small bus, and you are traveling to Rivers. How do you do it? When you get lagged, when you get there, you can't perform. You understand? So all these things we have to look into and see how we can make the players, to play to their level, because the players are not playing as expected.
But Mike, Femi just talked about players. The same thing, in England. I mean, you play Carling Cup game or FA Cup game on Saturday, and then you play midweek game. Some club play Champions League game. So I don't know because the calendar is already choked up. So what can be done? Is there anything that can be done to make the players feel at home? FIFPro are already they sued FIFA for numerous games we've seen. So from what Femi just raised, this issue of players' welfare, is there anything that can be done, especially in the area of the Nigeria Premier Football League?
I think first, if you want to juxtapose the English Premier League with the Nigerian Premier Football League, I think these are two things that are apart. In the English Premier League, they have squad depth. They make use of their academy, and that is why you find it very easy for them to play about 4 competition in a row and nothing happens because they twerk the players. They bring in some youngsters from the feeders, allow them blend. There are some fringe players as well. Some are being used for the FA Cup, some are used for the league, some for the Champions League. So you alternate them. But here in the Nigerian Premier Football League, you just want to stick with that winning team, whether you are playing.
But it's the mentality of the team.
Yes, and that is why we need to go back and start building academies. This thing is in the extant laws that govern the game. That even CAF made it very clear. Before you present a team that is coming to represent your team in the continent, you must have an academy.
Okay.
And so these things are things that are very, very simple. But we find it difficult to implement. Because we thought maybe it is, energy sapping and a lot of financial implication involved. But then if you want to get the best, you need to go back to and start doing the needful.
Okay. Femi, I'm sure you heard that. And do you have any more reaction to what he just said in area of academics?
Yes. In addendum, I have to give it to Mike there but you can't compare the Nigerian Professional Football League, Premier League, and the EPL, because EPL, they have their things worked out for them. You are traveling from so point to so point. Either you are on the train or you are flying. They are not traveling 24 hours, 21 hours or 17 hours to get to their next point. So this has to be eradicated. There must be a plan for the players, you understand, to move from a point to the other point. Look at Duma, they were very unlucky. They had an accident and they lost the back-to-back games. You understand? So if measures were being put in place for these players to travel well, you understand, aside the training, aside the academies and what have you, their pitches. These players, if you travel by air, you are going to from Kano to Port Harcourt is just 1 hour something. You are refreshed. But you travel from Kano to Port Harcourt for about 17 hours, and you are playing a game the next minute. How are you going to do it? It's not possible. We have to look into all these things and make the players look good. So to do the business, football is business, very big business. Until we understand this tradition that football is business, before you can do better playing football.
Of course, we're still speaking live on air with Femi Adetula, who joins us live today on Sports Extraordinary to look at some interesting stories from the Nigerian Premier Football League and as well as other areas of sports. Mr. Femi, let's talk about the national team. And I'm sure you are a vanguard of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'm sure that as patriotic as we all are, you want to see good things happen to the team. But we just heard, I don't know how true that speculation is, but that the changes, the NFF are already plotting to bring in a foreign-based coach to be at the helm of affairs of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
I'm not a happy person talking to you this evening as regards the Super Eagles because yes, I'm very serious now. I'm not happy at all about the Super Eagles because when you talk about Super Eagles in 1994, we were fifth in the world. Then thereafter, what happened? 1996, we went to Atlanta. We won gold. And looking at from there till now, what has happened to Nigerian football? It's been up and down. We didn't qualify for the last World Cup, and we are on the verge of not attending this coming one in Japan. In USA, Mexico, and Canada. It's very unfortunate. The NFF told Pacero to leave, and for how many weeks? No replacement for Pacero. Only for them to bring in Finidi George 3 weeks to the match against South Africa and Benin. So what was the result? We had out of 6, we have 1 point. Even the Onibo man they are bringing in now, what is it coming to do? Is it coming to do magic? It means NFF themselves, they failed in that process because they knew Pacero is leaving. As Pacero is leaving, there should be a replacement for Pacero. Now the coach there now, Finidi George has resigned, and they have not said anything for over 2 weeks. So how do we do it?
So, but they thought of bringing a certain Harvey Renard, one man who understands, the plot of African football, should elicit some joy, isn't it?
I will not say. To me, it doesn't elicit anything because Harvey Renard has not coached Nigerian team one day. He doesn't know the psychology of the players. He doesn't know the mentality of the players. He's just coming into Nigeria if he's lucky to be employed. Before he can settle down, it means he will have played 1 or 2 games. How many days are they going to stay with him in camp? The players will come in on the Friday, on Monday they are playing a game. So we have 2-3 days to train with them. So what magic will he do? You understand? Because we have to look at these things. These are basic things. What magic will he do if he comes in, now okay, tomorrow morning is there announced. We are playing the next game in March. So what happened between now and March? Would there be any international window where the players can come together for 2-3 days and play some games? Will NFL provide that for him? Because we have to look at all these factors before we can say, okay, Abrenad is coming. Abrenad was fine, good coach, but not world class in my own perception. That's my opinion, though. All these things we have to take into cognizance and say, okay, this is Super Eagles. We want them to be super. Are they really super?
Mike, let me go back to Mike. I mean, you heard what he said. That yes, good, but not world class. And I love that that thought. Do we need a world class coach?
Of course we do.
Can we pay for a world class coach?
It's a big question, which is very simple. If everything is done according to plan, I tell you, we have the money to pay for the world class coach. But then it looks as though our administrators is constantly taking Nigerians for granted, and that is what it means, because that place is a position of trust, that we give to them. Whenever any key decision is being taken, no Nigerians cares. I mean, they just do it the way they want, and at the end of it all, when the result is not favorable, they begin to come up with media stunts to to cushion the effect from the angry fans. Because for me, you had complained that one of the reasons why you had to employ Finidi George was paucity of fund, that you don't have a bogus amount of money to bring in a certain world-class coach. Where are you getting the money now? Just because everything has gone sour, money suddenly will come out somewhere. So it's a clear evidence that the NFL, the men and women that we put in the arms of affairs, they don't even care in terms of the feelings of the Super Eagles fans.
It's because of the feelings of the Super Eagles fans that made them to go for a foreign coach.
Oh,
no, because from just maybe, I'm just thinking that from reaction, the person would have felt that as it stands now, the Super Eagles do not need, because what we saw last time looks like drones from indiscipline from the camp that resulted from the players not giving their best, or somehow because of lack of time, we have some people just walk into the camp. So maybe the thought of getting, and don't forget, it took a lot of decisions. The board was divided for them to get in the majority that brought in Finidi George from the onset.
I can tell you for free that the even technical committee of NFF, a high-ranking member of the technical committee of the NFF, came out, though he said he wouldn't want his name to be mentioned. He said it's very clear that Ibrahim Gusau single-handedly picked Finidi George. He didn't even go for an interview. Even when the technical committee had to sit down to dissect various opinions, whether is it the right, because if you want to take a look at it critically, going through the credentials of Finidi George and that of Amunike, my brother, it is very clear to the blind and audible to the deaf.
So,
that there are things
so if they had Amunike, let me come back to you, Femi. Mike, I will come back to you. If they had Amunike and we're talking about paucity of funds, why do they? Was it because of?
I will disagree with Mike on this because your last assignment, determines what you get. Finidi, according to the records, won the league last season. And he was on second, he was second on the log this season before he left for the national team. So I don't know where Amnika is coming from. Maybe we are trying to look at his last record with what was the name of that team now he coached it. He failed with Eguavon. We didn't qualify for the World Cup. So if you want to mention Amnika failed with Eguavon. You understand? So I'm not looking at that at all. We should try and look at what is possible now and what we think we can do to make us, go back to where we used to be, the super force, the super power. We are playing Benin, we lost to Benin. South Africa is coming to threaten us in Nigeria. No, it's not good for our football, honestly. I think the NFF need to sit down, look inward, then talk to the players because these are professionals. What you are doing now is your work. What they are doing is their work. So if you don't do well at your workplace, then nobody will put you on television. So it means if you really want to work, you have to work your heart out for your nation and for yourself because it's your name first before Nigeria. When they say I'm from Nigeria, but my name comes before Nigeria. You understand? So nothing has happened. You understand? So the NFM needs to sit down and talk to them that this guy, if you want to do it, you do it. So if you're not ready, you get out. It's very simple. Don't need to pamper anybody in the national team.
So don't you think that's possibly the reason why we needed a foreign coach that will not tolerate some of this indiscipline in the camp?
Well, if you say so, because I've stayed with the national team for a very long time, and I've seen them. I know what they can do. I know what they do in the camp. I won't say on television. You understand? So it doesn't matter the color of who is coming in. What we need now is a competent coach that can deliver, not either Oyibo or black or whatever. Whoever that can do the job should be given the job and let the job do the job and take us to the World Cup, which is very essential.
In fact, many thanks to you, Femi, for joining us live on today's edition of the show. I am just thinking that I don't know the colors that you are, whether you are a blue, whether you're a red, or whether you are a sky blue. But I know that in the next 2 months, the season will commence in Europe.
The best team in the world is Arsenal. The best team in the world is Arsenal.
But
Sunshine Stars and Arsenal to the world.
Yeah, they failed to win the league, and you go again next season. Many thanks to you. And when the season comes to, but the preparations are intense. Of course, before the Olympics, we'll also get you live and let's talk about the Olympics, and we'll have you regularly to gist us, because you have first-hand information of what is happening inside, some of the sporting, circles, so you can feed our viewers with those scintillating, information. Many thanks to you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. God bless Nigeria. Good evening.
God bless Nigeria, Mike. I'm sure that we have had a lovely time with Femi, and he said about the national team, and it's quite very touching when passionate Nigerians speak about the national team, especially those, truly, like he said, you need to be in the camp with the Super Eagles. You understand more. For him that has been close to the echelon of, sporting powers, he knows what he's saying, and it takes a whole lot. The big question is, if other teams, if we see things like this in other teams and are doing well, the Argentinas of this world, the France of this world, they are doing well when it comes to national team, why is our own different?
I think for me, he answered the question. I think lack of commitment from the players. You need to see the passion and energy that exude from the eyes of the likes of Jejo Okocha, them Taribo West, when they play Uche Okechukwu, Benny Roha in their days. You need to see when they're done on the green and white, Super Eagles jersey, they give it all. They give it all. But these days, players are, maybe they are more like what I call Indomie players. They don't want to get themselves injured because a huge amount of money is waiting for them every week at the club side out there. So you don't expect them to come and risk, their destiny, quote, for, the Super Eagles. And that is why when they come to the national team, they don't really translate what we used to see in their club side. Because I tell you, if they translate half of what they do, the exploit they do in their club side to the Nigerian national team, I tell you, by now we should be singing a different song.
Okay, there's drama in the group, and I can tell you for sure that it is not easy at all in the group that has France, Poland, Netherlands, and Austria. Guess what? Netherlands are trailing now with 2-3 in favor of Austria, who now tops. France have drawn against Poland. Poland equalized, and it is Austria leading the group that has France and Netherlands. And it's 90 minutes plus 3 in the game between Netherlands and Austria, and then 90 minutes plus 2 in the game, and it's still 1-1 between France and Poland.
I think I said it earlier that it's not.
It looks like this is even the group of death.
Just like a group of death, very competitive. Like I said earlier, that it's not done and dusted. It wasn't yet an Uhuru, because in football, in minutes can change. So that is what we are seeing.
All right, many thanks to you, Mike.